Group of so yes, welcome to this evening's professional women's group meeting. I'm so just thankful to see all your beautiful faces. Even though it is on Zoom, I wish I could see you all in person like we used to, but hopefully soon, right? Yes, so today we have a great meeting and I am going to let Iman kick us off. Amber, if you can put the slide on, please.
Absolutely. Gloria, do you want Irina to go for it, or do you want me to read the statement?
Let me see. I think I had Irina. Is she able to do it? Irina, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead.
The PWG comes together to network, encourage, support, and inspire each other to thrive in the workplace and in life. We're committed to creating a welcoming environment where we refrain from judgment. We treat each other with dignity and mutual respect. We're open to the possibilities and ready to have fun.
Woohoo! Wonderful. All right. Oh, Amrit, actually, if we can have the second slide, please. Yes. Okay. So just a little reminder of proper protocol for our meetings. And this is really good information for all meetings. Okay. If you can please have your camera on during the meetings, if at all possible. Please make an effort, even if it's just in the beginning and when we get into our groups. This makes it a lot easier. It's already a little challenging to bond and really get feedback on how we're doing with the meetings if we don't see your beautiful faces. So please, if you can, put your camera on so that we can see you. Make sure that you're dressed appropriately. And just from what Zoom sees, right? Making sure that nothing you don't want seen is being shown on camera. All right. And also to participate during those times that it's being requested. Just think of it as like, what would you want if you were doing a meeting and presenting, right? Kind of common sense things. Also, just do not do anything that you wouldn't do in person-to-person meeting. It's still the same. And as you know, we are recording. So, it kind of lives forever. All right. So thank you so much for that. And if you want to put that next slide, Amra. And Irina, you want to go ahead?
So the break room question will be, talk about a time when you became an accidental leader. What did you learn? And we'll be discussing that for the next 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies. For those of you who are still in our meeting right now, you have an invite to go to a breakout room to connect with your fellow PWG members. If you want to accept that invite, we look forward to connecting with you.
Hi, ladies. Welcome back. I hope that was a good little meeting. Was that good?
It was wonderful. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, who was that?
It's Olga. Hold on a second. Sorry, I was like in and out. This is Olga.
Hi,
Nice to meet
Olga.
you. Hi.
Good. It was wonderful. That's awesome. Very well. Good. And I love seeing your faces. Well, great. So for our next part, Iman.
Good evening, ladies. Tonight, I have the honor to introduce to you our speaker, Kristen Kozad. Is a life and purpose coach, an owner of Illuminating Purpose. Coaching for the last 6 years, she specializes in helping women clarify their purpose and vision for their lives. She believes that we each carry significant gifts that the world needs. And in uncovering these gifts, we create a fulfilling life and legacy. You can find her on her YouTube channel, Abundantly Purposeful, where she combines her message with the message of financial advisor Shelly Shell to empower women to create a life of purpose and financial well-being. Kristen believes that in a community, women can thrive using their gifts to encourage and inspire others. She is excited to be here with us tonight, speaking about becoming a spark in this community by creating a life that you love. Please help me welcome Miss Kristen.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. This is my second time here. First time with straight hair, Gloria, but second time here in general. And tonight I'm going to be talking about resiliency and adaptability. And I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. The funny thing is that at the last minute, the platform that I created my slides for you guys deleted it today, a couple hours ago. So I am going to share my screen with you, and it won't be what I did last time, but we will. Can you guys see that? You can see that? Okay. So in my time today, I want to, it really is my goal, and it's my real calling in life is to build women up for freedom and empowerment, regardless of what the circumstances are in our lives. And so today, talking about resilience and adaptability and navigating change like it's your job, because really it has kind of become our job. There's so much changing in our world every single day. And it's really important that we build the confidence that we can deal with these changes that come across our path, and that we can do so in a really powerful and meaningful way, and that we can be really proud of the women that we're becoming. So I want to share a little bit of my story, and this is a pretty personal story. So bear with me and try to see yourself in the details of sort of the circumstances that I'm talking about. I have a really big family. I have 3 older brothers, and we have gone through major changes in the last decade or so. And about 5 years ago, my one brother, Greg, his wife called me. They've been married for 20 years at that point. And she called me and said, Greg really needs to come out and see you. And this was kind of a rare thing because we've gotten busy with our adult lives, and he has a family and a big job and lots going on the East Coast. And so he was going to come to Denver and come see me. This was a big deal for me, for the little sister. And I knew he was going through some things. His wife had kind of mentioned that he was really struggling. I knew he had some anxiety and things like that. And so I thought that he just kind of wanted to get a break and come talk about it. And I thought, well, of course he's going to come talk to the coach about this. I'm the one in the family that's going to be the one who's going to be here with them through this. And excuse me, he got out to Denver, and immediately I kind of had a sense that there was more to what was going on here. And we drove to dinner, took him to one of my favorite spots. We were kind of just really having some small talk. And he said, I have to tell you something. And my brother has been a Navy pilot and an athlete and a father and a husband. And I've had a great deal of respect for the marriage that he's had. And he sat across from me at the table that night, and he said, I need you to know that I'm gay. And in that moment for me, I immediately flashed to his children, who are beautiful, beautiful souls. I love these kids. And I have a major heart for kids and the things that they experience in the world that maybe they can't make sense of or they don't understand. Then I thought about his wife. And then I thought about my brother sitting there so vulnerable across from me, sharing this news with me. I was the first person in our immediate family that he told. And everything in me just dropped. I had a very physical reaction to it. I had an emotional reaction that I stifled. I buried all of it so that I could be there for him in that moment, just wondering what it's been like for him to have this secret that he's lived with for his whole life, and to now be unearthing this secret, this really big thing that I knew would end his family. And so for the next 9 months, we went through this together, and I played sort of counselor for him and his wife on separate occasions, and just sort of talked with them and listened and was there for them. But the whole time I had this major anxiety and this major pit in my stomach that things were not going to be okay in my family. It would never be the same as a result of this. Would our other brothers accept him and love him for who he is? Would my mom, who was 76 at the time and from a small town, would she be able to accept this new version of her son? And what I jumped to initially, and this major change in my family, was worst case scenario, which is my favorite to jump to, or what used to be my favorite to jump to. If I can handle the worst case scenario, if my family crumbles, what am I going to do? And so that's how I lived the next 9 months until the rest of my family found out. And it caused health issues within me. Like I said, I had anxiety and sleep issues. I had trouble really connecting in my community and being there for the other people who needed me. And I don't know how well I was actually there for my brother and his wife. So really there was so much going on. I had this belief that change was hard, and I felt like I wasn't strong enough to do this. And it's really important for me to convey for you, this wasn't about him being gay. This was about the end of his family as we knew it, and potentially the end of my family as I knew it. And we value our comfort. We value certainty. We like to know that we know what's coming. And with this situation, I had no idea what was coming and what would be next. And so this is the definition I want to deal with you guys about tonight. A life event that comes unexpectedly and it's inevitable. It's something unforeseen circumstances that impact our daily lives. So the changes that I'm talking about today are the type of changes where we really don't have control. This thing has come to us and it's happening and it's in our lives. It's going to be with us. So just thinking about your own lives and thinking about how you've dealt with changes that felt like a bomb went off in your life, or that felt like life is never going to be the same, or I don't have the skill set necessarily to sort of move through this. So the last time that I was here, we talked about, your dreams and holding your dreams close and really going for those. And really, in light of that conversation that we had, we need to be able to adapt to change, because if we don't, it can steal those dreams away from us. It can steal that spark in our life that we want to bring into the world. And really, that's not the purpose of change. The purpose of change is for our growth. It's for our furtherment. And so what I would love for you guys to do right now is make a brainstorm, a brain dump, if you will, and however that looks for you. And on a piece of paper or in your phone where you can make a list of words, your thoughts, your feelings and emotions around the word change. When you think of the big changes that have come into your life, what are the sorts of things that you thought and experienced? Do you have beliefs around change? You can draw a picture. My only caution is maybe don't write it out as a journal exercise, but really sort of just get the words out there. And then as you guys start to do that, let's take a look at the chat. And if there's something that you think, oh, people can resonate with this, I'm going to put this one up, or, hey, this one's really weird, but I experienced it and I wonder if anybody resonates, then put that up and share that with us, because we want to know the vastness of what this word means for people. Where? Scary new opportunity growth. That's change means opportunity. That is awesome. Healing. What are some of the reactions that you've had to changes that have come across your path? Whether it's the end of a relationship or the loss of someone, or when you're in the middle of it, what's your reaction to it? Fear of the unknown, stress. Yeah. Kristen, one door closes and another few open. Kids growing up, that is a big one. Loss of identity or value. Yeah. Fears, overwhelmed, obstacles. I think this is how we perceive it. We bring certain beliefs to change when it sort of threatens, the status quo, the things that we're used to, hiding. Oh my goodness. Changes create growth. It's true. All of this is true. Thank you guys for sharing so bravely. Awareness, PTSD, trauma. Oh my goodness. Yes. These are real. You guys, this is the reality. This is the reality that when we hear this, we'd love to go to a different place and say, oh, this is a great opportunity. But the reality of being in the moment, it really challenges us to think that positive thought and to be really present. So anxiety, sadness, grieving, grieving what was to make space for what's coming, right? I just love you guys. This is amazing what's in the chat. Okay, I'm going to shut my chat now so that I don't read all these for you. You can read those if you like. But I want to go ahead and tell you guys sort of how things are going now. This is 5 years later after my brother came out at age 50, and sort of how everybody's dealt with it and how it's been absorbed into my family and what things look like now. My sister-in-law, we all credit her for my brother being alive today. She loved him so much. And as hard as it was for her, and this was not she didn't go from 0 to 100 that she was accepting of this. She went through her own process, but she chose her actions consciously. She knew who she wanted to be for her kids. She knew she had to be there for them. And she also wanted my brother to live a life that was honest. And she wanted the same for herself. So they, to this day, have one of the most beautiful friendships I've ever seen. And she would have had every right. I understand that she could have had just this intense anger and feeling like she wanted retribution. And out of love, she acted out of a very different place. And one of the women that I respect most in this world, for sure. It was a great model of someone moving through change. And his kids are thriving. My nephew just became a Marine, and my niece is in her senior year of college playing volleyball on the East Coast. And the family, they've had their own time with their dad, and they've started building a new relationship with him. And again, this didn't happen overnight. There was no magic box that opened and they knew exactly how to do this. They just stayed committed to the process with one another. And my brother is thriving. He has a beautiful new job. He's living in Dallas and he's very happy. And to be honest, when you talk about an accidental leader from our session at the beginning here, my brother has become an accidental leader in our family, I believe. He stepped up to take care of our mother in ways that are just beautiful, and he's enjoyed the time with her. And he's really trying to connect the siblings on a deeper level. So it's been really awesome, and our relationship is in a really, really good place. And ultimately it comes out of love of wanting people to be happy around us, even if it upsets our comfort level. The day that he went and told each of us individually in person, and the day that he went to see my mom. I said, don't call me this weekend. You deal with mom. You talk to mom. We agreed that it would probably be difficult for her to understand, honestly. And so he went and talked to her. He called me when he got on the airplane, and my role was to pick up the pieces for my mom. Well, unbeknownst to me, my mom is a real champ. And I called her. She was eating a piece of toast, and I go, hi, Mom. And she goes, yeah, huh? So we are resilient beyond what we can even imagine. And so are the people around us. We don't have to jump to the worst case scenario and try to manage from that. I couldn't get results for anyone else in my family or have an experience for them. I could only be doing that for myself. So these words that we use, let me minimize that there. These words that we use for change are the words that come from our belief system. They're the words that, they're loaded emotionally because they come from our experiences, our very real experiences, by the way. I don't want to diminish that. But change is truly an adventure in disguise. And sometimes we don't see the adventure of it until we're on the other side of it and we have some perspective. And that's okay. But some different words for change are alter, shift, transform, transition, divert, switch, different, modify, replace, or substitute. And I just thought that was really interesting to bring that to you guys, because it's so important to remember that change isn't our enemy. Change is neutral. And the beliefs that we bring towards each new challenge or adversity that we encounter, that really is up to us and what we want to get out of it. So it's really important to start paying attention to our beliefs. So I want to really talk about this a little bit here. These are my definitions for the purpose of our conversation and for this talk today. But a belief is based on experience in our past. We form this belief around something that's already happened. And we form a perception of the world, of relationships, of communities. And it carries a strong emotional and personal charge. So I might have certain beliefs about the world or about the way my family would handle this, but those beliefs were based on my past interpretations and experiences. The difference is that truth is universally held. It's proven in a variety of environments, and it's not emotionally charged. So the difference is change is hard. I'm bad at change. Those are beliefs. The truth is change is inevitable. Change will grow me if I allow it. So I think that's a really important distinction to have in place for the purpose of our conversation. And I really encourage you to be paying attention. What are the beliefs that I hold? Because they are pervasive. They're everywhere. And we have beliefs about everything. We are constantly judging machines. We're constantly trying, and that's not out of a bad place. That's out of a place of trying to make sense and understand the world that we're living in. And we create beliefs in order to do that. So the difference is when someone speaks and they're telling you about a situation or a new change, they're sharing possibly part of their beliefs. So you can pay attention when you watch the news, when you look at social media, anyone who's put it, myself, even in this conversation, what's coming from my belief and what feels like truth to you. So I encourage you to think that way. And then this is something that I created. There are phases of grief. There are phases of change as well. And I want to walk through this chart with you. The first step of any change is the moment we receive the information. Change is imminent. This is happening. It's come into our life. And now we have to decide what to do with that information. So we react in some emotion, some bodily sensation. Like I had said, do you feel like your heart racing? Do you feel your throat's closed? Do you feel like everything flushes out of you? That's the piece that's very visceral. That's the piece that we're not really controlling. It's very subconscious. And it's important to really allow ourselves our reaction time if there's a big change. And I'm talking about things, again, that are pervasive throughout every area of our life. Like someone had said, Your kids are growing up. Information is coming in every day. Hey, my kids are growing up, or my child is going to college, or the end of a relationship, or news of a diagnosis in your own health. There's a sensation that happens in your body, and that's very, very natural. That's the first phase. The second phase is the filter of our experiences. So this is looking really kind of backtracking. Like I said, this is how our beliefs are formed. The filter of our experience forms our beliefs. Based on my past experience of change, I make assumptions about the new information. Is this harmful to me? I'm just trying to gauge, is this something that's I'm going to have to confront? How do I react to it? It's almost like a predator in a way, potentially, like, is this friend or foe? And we're just trying to determine that. Is this harmless? Is this possibly harmful? We are always trying to make sense of the information around us. And so that's how we do it. We filter it through our experience, and we try to make sense of the world. Now, the filter of experience can also look like what people call baggage. I don't like that word, but everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say that, hopefully. Our beliefs can potentially be they can potentially be something that keeps us stuck. They can be potentially something that keeps us thinking small and not looking for the opportunity that really lies there in this new phase, right? So my advice is clean the filter. Just really take stock of what you're believing, what your thoughts are, the way you're walking around in the world and how you're perceiving the world. You can have it work for you or work against you. And if you're moving through a significant change right now, or say one is coming, which it is inevitable for all of us, to really keep that filter clean and be aware of your thoughts and your beliefs is really crucial to having a perception of the world that is for you. And so the next phase is our brains kick in such a powerful way. Our brains are so powerful. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I'm going to give you a word here to remember, and that's priming. Our brains are primed based on our belief systems. And so when we go out in the world, if I have a belief that the world is for me, if I have a belief that I'm capable of handling what comes my way, my brain is going to confirm that. If I have a belief in the opposite direction, my brain's going to confirm that. It's a neutral piece of our brain that wants to show us that we're right. It's almost like it's tied to our ego in some way, but it confirms our belief system. And maybe you've heard of confirmation bias. It's like we're searching out information to confirm any number of belief systems that we hold, whether it's our political or religious belief, our beliefs about ourselves, about our families, about our jobs, about our capability. It really is pervasive throughout our lives. And then after that, really powerful part, and I want to encourage you, the priming of your brain, we can change our belief system. That's the really beautiful and powerful part. So you're not confined to that unless you are completely surrendered to it and you have zero desire to change it. But your beliefs, you can change that, and that will change the priming of your brain as well. And if you guys are asking questions in the chat, I will have time for questions after. I'm going to keep moving through this because it'll kind of distract me a little bit, if that's okay with you guys. But I'm happy to answer any questions. And the final phase is that we take action in some way. My action was, I wanted to be there for my brother and his wife. I wanted to be there for my niece and nephew. I isolated from other people in my community that could have supported me. I felt a responsibility for all these people where I didn't have the responsibility. Like it really wasn't my responsibility to take. Those are some of the actions that I took. I became very anxious. I lost sleep. After the fact, things look very different. It's been my greatest teacher. But in that moment, those were the actions that I took. And the last part is our results. Our results are 100% our responsibility. And when I say that, I just want to clarify for you guys, I'm not talking about the outcome of what the change is or the outcome for anyone else around us. I couldn't predict that my brother would be thriving. I couldn't predict how beautiful and loving his wife would be and how his kids would come out and with a renewed relationship with him and a different relationship with him. I couldn't predict that, and I couldn't do that work for them. And that wasn't my work to do. But the results for me were 100% my responsibility. And when I really stepped back and I could think about that, I really felt empowered by that. And the more I consider this in my adult life, the more I feel completely empowered to make a choice, to make a different choice, to let the action be out of a place of who I want to be, the woman that I feel like I'm really called to be, and the woman that I want to show up for my people as, for my family and my loved ones in my community and in my work. You know, this really informs my work 100%. So I want you to feel really encouraged in the idea that you can create a different outcome for yourself. And again, you can't manage the change for everyone involved, and you really can't say which way it's going to go a lot of times, but you can say what you're going to do with all the information. And when we try to take in all the information that we're getting when we're moving through a change and just be a little bit present with ourselves, it creates a very, very different result that's more representative of who you really are in the first place. So change and new information are coming at warp speed. Every day we see it. Choosing to become adaptable in transition builds confidence, resilience, and creative solutions. So I thought this was really important to talk about because really it honestly comes down to presence and awareness. Are you checking in with yourself in the midst of a stressful time? Are you taking care of yourself? Because that's when we become adaptable and we start to take care of ourselves and we're present, then we can flow with the changes that are coming our way, even if they're not lovely, even if they're not something that we are hoping to happen, that we can still learn and grow and be our best self through them, but only if we're really present. And in that, it builds confidence. It builds confidence that, hey, the next time I go through a challenge like this, I think I can do it. And I'm going to learn a different and a new lesson, but I can take that lesson. And a lot of you guys in the comments, you shared those views as well. So I think that is really important to keep that in mind, that there is that positive side of every transformation and every change. And that's how resilience is built. Adaptability and resilience are muscles that need to be exercised. And the good news is that you will have multiple opportunities to practice this in your own life through changes that you go through. And when we're present, that's when our creativity really, really thrives. That's when it really rises up in us and we can come up with solutions and we can see, hey, you know what, this is what this person needs in this situation, or this is what I need in this situation. Or coming up with, how can I creatively look at this in just a new way and put a new spin on this and maybe not go through this next change the way that I've gone through previous changes. So these are the benefits. There are so many benefits of change. And I want to just also be understanding to the idea that if you're going through a really big change right now, if you're in the midst of it and you're in that emotional place, I don't necessarily want you to think that that's not the right place to be, because it's exactly where you probably need to be. But when you do have perspective, when you have some distance, I can look at my situation and my relationships and my family now under a very different filter. I move through change very differently. I will not give up my power. I will not give into anxiety in the same way that I did. I'll do it in new ways. That's what we do. We create new ways. No, but the reaction time won't be what it was as I was going through that. I learned something from that experience about myself. And I also learned something that gave me a lot of confidence about my family as well. So the benefits of change are growth and transformation. Any major transition in your life or adversity or anything that comes into your life, anyone that's ever written a great biography, they were not the same person at the end of the story that they were at the beginning of the story. And that is your choice. And You know, it might take some time to really sift through, you know, some of the things that have gone on in your life, but the growth and the transformation are there. And even if it's an old lesson that you feel like you potentially haven't gotten yet, you can still get it. That's still your lesson. And it might be showing up in new and different ways. The resilience and adaptability, like I said, that's a muscle that grows when we move through change, when we move through, you know, the challenges that we face in life, or the unexpectedness of life, right? The mystery of life. We grow that muscle. And we, you know, through the learning, we build confidence and confidence in ourselves that we can tackle what comes next. Or maybe we can't tackle it. We don't necessarily know how to do that, but we can move through it and be present. That creates a lot of confidence in a person. And it gives you more of a sense of peace as you're moving through these changes. Trust and relatability. We can trust ourselves through these changes that we're experiencing. And one story from my life is that, you know, the relatability part, when I first looked at being a coach, I was in my early 30s, and I'd had the normal changes and things like that, and transitions. And, you know, I didn't realize how much I didn't know, because I hadn't been deeply, deeply challenged through real loss and things like that. And so I looked at the coaching program, and something in me just said, no, that's not the right fit for me. I wanted it to be, but I just felt like it wasn't the right fit for me and my gut. So a while later, about 10 years passed, and a lot of changes happened. I lost my father. I had many relationship struggles, like big struggles. I had a diagnosis of cancer. I had many changes in my family. I had moved across the country for a job and was trying to make a life in a new city, which is no small thing. We talked about that in our breakout session. And through that time, I was humbled. And that's another benefit of change. I was really humbled in my own life to experience real grief and real adversity in a way that I hadn't before. So now that I'm a coach, I use all of that. I don't care if you're a coach or a friend or a community member or a mother or a partner in any way, like the ability to be humbled in our own lives by the changes that we experience, we are so much more empathetic to people going through change and experiencing really big things. And I just want to encourage you that is a gift. It's a gift to all the people that we come in contact with. Like, our pain is always used. Our struggle, our adversity is something that can always be used if we allow it. And it leads to inspiration and creativity. This is no small thing either. If you want to live an inspired and creative life, look at the life that you've already lived and gain the treasure and the gold in each of these different circumstances that you've lived through. You're way more powerful than you probably even realize. And there's so much there that can benefit others that you know and love. So how do you navigate change with resilience? And this one, if you guys want to take a screenshot of it, it'll give some good ideas of places to start. You can implement one at a time if you like, but excuse me, I implore you to start evaluating information and form your own perspective in the light of truth, in what feels true in your own life, what feels like someone else's belief or someone else's filter of their experience. They're speaking out of it, right? What does that feel like, and how do you make it your own, and how do you evaluate your own information that you're putting out and your own beliefs? I think that's a really important thing when we're in a world right now where so much information is coming at us. What do we do with that? Well, think for yourself, and you're smarter than you believe, probably. Determine your values and intentions. You know, any transition, who do you want to be in that moment? What do you hold true? What's important to you? Are your values connection, wellness, community, love, and kindness? What are the values that you want to hold with you? If you just have maybe 3 even that you could start with, let those be your grounding force. Let those be the roots that kind of hold you in place during any sort of a transition. And the intentions of what type of woman do I want to be? I think that's a really important question. Who do I want to be? Because when we start to call that up in ourselves, it's there already. You have it within you, even if you don't practice it. Or, I always say, play with it. Play with it. Who do I want to be today? Do I want to be more loving? Do I want to be more generous? Do I want to take care of myself in a new way? Then do that. Pay attention to how you think and talk to yourself. This one, I think there are so many moments where we're thinking things or having beliefs or talking to ourselves in a way that we wouldn't put that on another person. We wouldn't talk to a friend necessarily the way that we talk to ourselves sometimes. We can be very, like, sort of our harshest critic. And but pay attention to that. And even if you need to make a ritual out of it, this is a really, as we move through any sort of transition or newness, pay attention to what you're thinking about what it is and what's coming. And a really good little piece, if you want to set an alarm in your phone 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, or whenever it makes sense for you, and just check in and check in with yourself and check in with your heart. And what am I thinking about this? And is that really true? And do I need to keep holding on to that belief, or can I create a new belief? And find the opportunity and benefit in every day, in every relationship, in every community, in every change that you're going through. Start to really feel gratitude for these things and the things that are showing up for you. When you start to practice gratitude, then more good things do show up. And because we start perceiving them. It's part of that priming that I was talking about earlier with our brains. Gain support of friends or family and lean on your trusted community, and not just even for the purpose of sharing how hard something is, although that is very important. We need those witnesses in our lives, right? But also those people that will give it to you straight and say, I hear you saying that, but I just don't think it's the truth about you. I see you as this. Someone that can hold up a mirror for you and show you what's actually possible, even when you might be in not a great place with any kind of transition that you're going through. And be compassionate with yourself. If you're having a rough day, if you're going through the muck of it, if you are struggling with accepting a new thing in your life, just be compassionate with yourself and tune into what you really need, and be sure that you're speaking to yourself really kindly. And then self-leadership, that is so important, because that is that thing that says, I can get through this. What do I need today? Check in with yourself. What do I need for myself today to do the things that I need to do? And some days it might be really hard. Some days it might be like a really simple thing just to get you out of the house. Go for a walk, be out in nature. The weather's starting to turn now. It's getting a little nicer. So pay attention to those things that make you feel good and lead yourself in that way. Okay, so let's go back to the dump. Reevaluate your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about change in light of what you've learned. What are some of the words that we all sort of think about when we think about something maybe unwelcome coming into our lives? What are some of those words that we were using? The fear and anxiety. I've experienced those, like I told you myself. When I had an opportunity to go back and really look at how I had moved through that time, I realized I didn't have to do it that way. And I realized that there was a lot of attachment to what I was expecting, what I thought was the certainty of our situation. And so I want to challenge you right now to go back to your list, take a look at that list, and cross out the words that aren't truth. Cross out the words that are belief. Remember, I said change is neutral. It's not good, it's not bad inherently. So what are those words that you've associated with change and that many of us have across the board? And which ones can you take away and say, that's a belief. It's a belief that I have to move through change with fear or sadness or feeling overwhelmed. All of these are we've experienced these things, right? We know these things, we've experienced them, but that's our filter. So if you clean that filter, what would it look like if you cross some of those words off? You might have a more open space to look at change and to start thinking about change in new ways. So I'm going to look at the chats right now. If you guys want to go through some of your list and start looking and seeing if you have some ideas about words that you thought were, oh, okay. Gratitude, practicing gratitude and affirmations. Oh my gosh, you guys have been through big things. See, this is real, these things in the comments right now that I'm looking at as you guys are going through your list. Oh, the loss of a coworker. I worked side by side for 4 years. Her husband died and she had to live in a different country. You guys, these are real things. Oh, Gloria goes above and beyond for us, whatever she is going through. That's a great model. That's a great model to be looking at, is someone like Gloria. So, okay, I'll close the chat. How do I close the chat? Here we go. Okay, and then this is my last, and this one you can take away with you. Thinking about the big 3 changes in your life, the really big, meaty things that have happened through the course of your life. So that might look like the divorce of your parents, the loss of a loved one, a health diagnosis, living in a new country or a new city, you know, these big things that have happened to you. Really take the time in the next few days and really be thinking about what has come out of that for you. On the other side of it, what did you find in yourself that you didn't know was there, right? And life might look very different. And you might wish that you could go back and change what happened. And at the same time, what can you be grateful for in this moment? What did that change bring about in you? Because we're all on the same earth plane. We are all experiencing life at a really rapid pace. And there is so much grief in the world, and that all of it, grief and change and vulnerability, these are all our teachers. So I want to encourage you guys in the next couple days to really just make it a journal exercise and just really look at the biggest changes that you've gone through, whatever they are, however many. You don't have to just pick 3. You don't have to pick as many as 3, but just really paying attention to what has it brought out of you? What goodness is there? Did you see the kindness of someone who took care of you in that moment, and what generosity really looks like? Just really trying to find the good that's in that change. And I'm here as a support for you guys. This is my 2nd time with your community, and I want to share more with you. And if we can come back and talk about something else, then I'm all for it. So I just really absolutely love this community and your engagement, and that this is such a rich, deep well of women. And as I'm reading those comments, I want to cry. I want to tears of, look what we go through. Look at how much we've experienced in life. I mean, these are big things. And it makes me grateful that you have a community to move through these things with. And I want to be here and be a support for you all. So as I head out, I woke up at 5:30 this morning. So after our Q&A session, I'm going to have to get going. But my name is Kristen Kozad. I'm a purpose coach and speaker. I help connect women with purpose. And that's what I'm trying to do in this community with you guys, like your deeper purpose and the things that are really important to you. I want to help to bring those out. And I want to invite you to our YouTube channel, Abundantly Purposeful. It's just a 10-minute conversation, unscripted, between myself and a financial planner. And we just talk about life. There's nothing there. It's just, it might inspire you to think a certain way or to challenge those beliefs, like we said. We just talk about little topical things for women. And if it can be any kind of an encouragement to you, then we would love to have you join in that conversation. And one final thing, as I am putting this together for you guys, I'm also changing the entire way that I go about my business. And I've been doing one-on-one coaching, and now I'm going to start working with companies, and I'm going to start doing workshops for companies. And this is sort of the baby of that. And I brought it to you guys first because you guys feel like such a great community who's really in the thick of life and really doing life and doing it in community and doing it well. And I found you to be so engaged the last time I was here. So I want to encourage you, if you have any feedback for me, to please send it on to me. I'll include my email in the comments in the chat box. And feel free to email me any feedback you have about this talk. Is there a way that what did you really love? Is there something that I could be more clear about? Or is there something in this that you're thinking, hey, this struck me this way, and, explain this in a way. But to the 2 people who send the most constructive feedback, I will choose the winners. If you have that to me by Thursday at 5 p.m., this Thursday at 5 p.m., email me your feedback about my talk today and how I can make it better for people, and what parts you really liked as well. That's super helpful too. What your experience was like, essentially. And then I will pick 2 people who gave great feedback that's super meaningful to me, and do a 30-minute coaching call on, the topic of your choosing. So pretty much anything you want. And if you want to talk about purpose or anything like that, that's great. But across the board, anything that's important to you and to your heart, I want to hear from you. So again, I will pick 2 winners for a 30-minute coaching session based on the feedback that I get. And I will include my email in the chat box right now. So thank you so much for hosting me again. I get really excited to be here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this talk as well.
Well, I can tell by the comments, if you have an opportunity, there's a lot of thank yous and saying how amazing you were. So thank you so much. I very rarely bring someone back a second time, and I only bring them back when they're fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yes, no, thank you so very much. And this topic is so good. And I feel in the last couple of years, I've learned so much more about those beliefs that we have that really hold us back. And especially around change, right? But when we think about it, life would be awfully boring if we didn't have the change and the challenges, right? That's what makes it good.
Right.
I don't know.
We think we want that, though. We really don't. Ultimately, we don't. That's not in our best interest. So you're right. It would be very boring. What would we talk about?
What would we do? It's like, same old, right? So ladies, do you have any questions or comments that you would like to say to Kristen? Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
I don't have any questions. This is Bernadette. I just want to say that I appreciate her sharing her story about her brother. And sometimes you think throughout the day, throughout the week, oh God, I'm running late. Do I have time to get on Zoom? Let me find time. I can't show my face, but timing is everything. And God has a way of putting people in our lives and women to speak and to share. And what Kristen shared tonight was just timing, and purpose is everything. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernadette. You're beautiful. And I just want to say one thing. I reached out to my brother yesterday and I said, is it okay if I share your story? It's the one that just covers every aspect of what change might look like. And he said, this is how much growth has happened. He said, if my story can help anybody, then I want you to share it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And, he's not alone. And, we've all had someone in our lives having to share what they've experienced. And as they used to say, coming out the closet, but it's a great thing when you have family to support you. And we've gone through that in my family. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you, Bernadette. I appreciate you being here, making the time.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you so much, Kristen. And thank you for your brother too.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Song.
Hi, Kristen. This is Elisha. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely. Hi.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Hi. So I just wanted to say thank you. Something that you said really, it was good timing. It was great timing, like Bernadette said. Just I've been focusing on like negative stuff with me and my partner. And then when you said just look at the good things about the change and then have that gratitude, it just made me think about it in a different perspective. So that was very helpful. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to say, what if the change is evil? Do you accept it? And I'm not talking about your situation at all. I'm talking about something that happened to me. And that person caused me great suffering, and it was an evil situation. And so, what helped me was to pray for that person. And it changed me slowly to accept the situation and try to rise above it by praying for that person. And it was very healing. That's all.
I think that's it, Therese. That's it. And we can't control, I don't know what your story is, but we can't control what does that was the change. When change is inevitable, we can't control, if it's evil or what really is coming our way. Our result, ultimately, it's how we deal with it. And it sounds like you did what you needed to do in that situation, and that it did change you for the good. Like, evil can be for our good as well, right? If we sort of walk through it in the way that you did, I have a lot of respect for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can't, I mean, we're living in a world that is multifaceted, and we don't have control over necessarily what's really going to cross our paths ultimately.
Thank you so much for the talk. This is the other Kristen. One thing that I've been trying to focus on is being aware. So you actually mentioning that was the perfect reminder that I was like, oh yeah, I actually haven't been thinking about being aware of how I'm feeling and feeling those things. So that was a great reminder. So thank you. And my brother also came out to me a long time ago, but putting myself in his shoes and his situation has only made him and I a lot closer, becoming adults, which has been great. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you.
Oh, thank you, Kristen. Same. I'm glad you're in this community now.
Thank you. This is Ola Koi. I just want to say thank you, Kristen, as well. And a lot of things you said resonate with me. And I always remember what my pastor said about change. Especially when you're trying to fight it, he said, what is not a matter of life and death, Ola, don't make it a matter of life and death. Mm-hmm. So even when I'm going through some changes and I'm not happy about what is going on, and I just say to myself, is this a matter of life and death? If it's not, then I think I can deal with it. And also there's a word that says the permanent thing about life is change. So as far as we live in this life, we are going to face changes. Changes come. One of the changes I had to deal with recently is having my son go to college, which being an only child was a real struggle, especially during COVID, and that was last year. That was really tough for me, but now I'm getting used to it, being an empty nester, but it was tough in the beginning to have to change that. Oh, wow, this guy just grew. I remember when he was a baby, now he's old enough to go to college, and he's going to leave me all alone, something like that. But like you said, it's something, but I look at the good side that when he finishes college, then he can get a good job, he can stand on his own, he doesn't have to depend on his mama and papa. Yeah, so one thing about change is always look at the bright side of it and know that during that time frame, you can always handle it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ola, for sharing. And there is that double-sided, right? There is that life won't be the same. Your son won't be living with you, but look at what he's going to be able to do in the world, and look at all the, there's the good and the challenging all at the same time. And to hold the balance of those, I think is really powerful.
And also, Ola, you get some free time now.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I'm going on vacation soon.
Sorry, I can't wait.
We just sent off our third one to college. So yes, so I've been through that change 3 times now.
That's big.
But you still do not have time, Gloria.
Well, I just sent off the third one, so
Let's see.
I should have more free time now. Anyone else?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Eden.
Hi, yes, I'm sorry I was late to this meeting. I'm actually taking a Mikasa class called Plan for Planning a Business, and it ends at like 7 o'clock. So it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm gonna be late for a while, or at least until I finish that. But what I saw and what I witnessed from this meeting was very inspirational, and it really evoked a mindfulness, in me to pay attention to things, because I don't really pay attention. I pay attention to everything, just not myself. I don't pay attention to like my thoughts and my feelings about things unless it pertains to how to get something done, or moving forward with something, or moving around something, or going through something. So I was wondering if I'd be able to possibly get the rest of the slides, or I think I came in on maybe slide 4 or 5, or if I'd be able to get a recording of this meeting or something like that. And I don't know, I feel like this class is kind of inconveniencing me when it comes to these meetings, because I'm going to be missing out on parts. And so I kind of jump in and it's like, okay, what's going on here?
So Eden, there's a real easy way. We have a YouTube channel, and this whole meeting is being recorded. And so you can go into our YouTube channel, Dress for Success Denver. If you do a search, you can find it. And there's also a link to it in all of the emails that I send. So you can go back in there and see it. You can pause it. You can make notes on that, so you can see everything on there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And thank you, Kristen. Thank you as well.
Miss Gloria, I have a question. This is Victoria. Are we the only one that can see that on YouTube, or can everybody see that?
Everyone who goes into our YouTube channel can see it.
So is that just for Dress for Success, or out in the public?
The public, but whoever's interested in going into our channel, yes.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay. I would need to talk to you afterwards. I'll try and call you tomorrow. I am not supposed to have my face on anything right now. I did not know.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, let's
Okay.
talk about that, okay?
Thank you, Miss Gloria.
All right, I think we have time for one more comment or question. Going once. Going twice. Okay, all right. I think that is done. Well, Kristen, thank you so much. Thank you for your vulnerability with us. Thank you for sharing such great information and helping us with something that we all struggle with a little bit, with the change, and reminding us that we're important and we need to pay attention to ourselves. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And I just adore you, Gloria, and love being with your community. So you guys are really beautiful. And I did put my email in the chat. So again, if you have any feedback and you want to pass that on for me, take my challenge, then yeah, thank you, and also your brother. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments. I can't wait to tell my brother. And I do have to get going because I have another early morning tomorrow, but thank you guys so much for being such a great space for me to share.
Thank you.
So much. Have a good night, Kristen.
Thank you. You too. Bye now.
Bye. Iman?
So ladies again, and now I would like to introduce to you Julia from Geek to Geek that will talk about her Learn to Code opportunities. Please help me welcome Ms. Julia.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. This is my first time. I'm actually down in Durango, but I am in Colorado. I'm down in Durango. I'm really, really excited. So like I said, I'm Julie Taylor. I run a business called Geek Pack. Now, I might say a couple bad words: tech, coding, geek, but they I was never, ever, ever techie, like growing up or in any education or anything. I'm completely self-taught, and I want to bring y'all an opportunity to give it a go. I would love to see in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you consider yourself as being techie or geeky on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being super techie, super geeky, 1 being not so much. But I think that no wrong answer. Before I learned how to do what I do, I was like a 0 or like a negative, if that's even possible. So I hope that nothing kind of makes you anxious. But so like I said, I run Geek Pack, and our mission is to empower women through learning to code. So I teach women how to code, how to build websites, and how to kind of take those skills to make more money, to get a promotion, to start your own business if you so wish, to work from home. I mean, there's so many remote job opportunities now, and having like real in-demand, tangible coding skills is super valuable, especially right now. And most of my students have never ever done any coding ever, and are probably like on the negative of the how techie are you. So on September 22nd, Gloria has invited me to come and do an hour session that will kind of give you a taste of coding. It's super fun, I promise. Anyone can do it. All you need is just access to the internet, which you clearly all do because we're here on Zoom together. And you can follow along. And I'm going to show you like behind the scenes of a website. And we're going to change some code on a website. No, just for us, no one else is going to see it. So don't worry. And you'll see kind of like, it's not this like super hard thing that Hollywood makes you think. It's just like teenagers in their basement with their hoodie and they got Cheetos on their face. It's not that at all. Anyone can learn this. So on September 22nd, I'm going to come back and do a session with y'all and kind of show you that it's totally doable and it's really, really fun. And the opportunities, once you know these skills, the opportunities are just endless. And that will lead on to a program that I have just started, and I'm partnering with Dress for Success, where my business, we have started a program called Geek for Geek. So my students want to support other women who want to learn this skill, but may not be able to, afford the course or a program or things like that. So we are partnering with Dress for Success to donate grant programs into my coding program. But I want to give you a taste of it because it can be super intimidating and super scary. And that's why I say it's kind of a bad word, like tech and coding and things like that. But honestly, I teach women all the time who have never done it ever before, and they like give it a go, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And if I can do this, what else can I do? So clearly I get really excited about it, just talking about it. So hopefully y'all will join us on September 22nd at 6 p.m. For this hour session. And I'll show you some really cool stuff behind the scenes. It'll give you a taste of whether or not you would like to potentially join our Geek for Geek program.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Julia. This is a great opportunity. Again, it would be if you are interested and you're accepted into this. It's a free training. So how awesome is that? So join us on September 22nd. And I will have that announcement going out tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the email is ready to go and it will go out tomorrow morning. So if you're interested, come and learn. Wonderful. Well, ladies, we are at the end of our meeting. We still have our announcements. So Amara, if we can have our announcements, please. All right. So our regular meditation with Kelly Arnold and yoga with Sheila will be happening this Thursday, September 2nd from 4:30 to 5:30. You can join one or you can join both. We'd love to see you there. It's a really wonderful time that we get to spend together and kind of relax and take care of ourselves and become aware of what's going on with ourselves. It's a good meeting there. All right, so Capital One. A lot of you have all been asking about the Capital One classes and when they were coming back. So the financial education classes will be starting on Wednesday, October 6th, and they will take place on Wednesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. And it's a series of 6 classes. Now, they only want people that would be taking this class for the first time. So if you've taken this class before, unfortunately, you're not eligible to do it again. This is the first time that we're having it in the evening. So it gives an opportunity for a lot of you ladies that haven't been able to do it in the previous schedules to do it in the evening. Please take note of this class. This class fills up very, very quickly. Tomorrow, you will receive the announcement where there will be an application and you need to send that application to me as soon as possible. So again, the Capital One classes, there's a lot of goodies involved with taking this class, which of course is always great, but the information that is provided is so valuable. So many women end up doing some great things. I put my daughter through this class and she just bought a house and her car is paid off and she's making great financial decisions in great part because of what she learned in this class. So, please join us if you can. Okay, so as you all know, for attending tonight's meeting, you will receive a gift of 3 items of clothing. Now, for the August meditation, the August PWG, which is today, the September meditation, the September 22nd, which is the Learn to Code opportunity, and the September PWG. All of those gifts will be redeemed on October 14th, 4:30 to 8. Make sure to write it on your calendar. Again, you can redeem it on October 14th from 4:30 to 8 and no need to make an appointment. Now, if you can't make it on that suiting day to redeem your gifts, right? There's a few things that there are options for you. Do you have a friend at the PWG? You can ask her to go and shop for you as well. I have several ladies that are doing that already, and it just warms my heart. I love it when you all get together and help each other out. If you haven't made a friend in the PWG, please make one. This is the reason why we have this, is so that we can network and build our network of support. But if you don't, you can also get a friend maybe outside of the PWG to come and shop for you. That's perfectly okay as well. Just send me an email and let me know that that is happening. If you can't come and you don't have any friends yet, we hope that you can find comfort in the excellent programming and opportunities we bring to you. We are hoping that here soon we'll be able to have more options for that suiting day. But as of now, because it is Amber and I still today, so we can't do that. So, okay. Next slide. So our Learn to Code event, informational event. This is so you can learn what coding is and to see if this is an opportunity that you would like to take advantage of. So Julia from Geek to Geek will be with us September 22nd from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. All right, and the RSVP will start going out tomorrow, and you can RSVP to that meeting tomorrow, first thing in the morning. I would like to take this opportunity to invite you all to experience the great magic that Donation Day is. I know for all of you, a lot of you who don't know what Donation Day is like, you all see Amara and I and think, oh, you ladies have a glamorous job. We want to invite you to see how glamorous our job is on Donation Day, which is the second Saturday of the month. In September, that will be on September 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is actually great fun. It's a great time to build community, to meet new friends. So if you're, struggling and making some friends, this is a great time. A lot of PWG ladies and our ambassadors all come through there and help out in that day. It is an awesome workout. Awesome. I got my 10,000 steps by noon. I had it done, and it's from 10 a.m. to 2. So really good workout. You see what it takes to have the clothing that we have in the boutique, to have that happen. It's a great process. It really is organized chaos. You get to learn about the organization. It's really cool. And you take pride in knowing that investment in time and energy and effort that you made on that day really is helping support the women that are getting employed and that are getting their interviews. So it's a great way for you to support all of these wonderful ladies that hopefully will soon join us at the PWG. If you would like to come, please email Amara at denver@dressforsuccess.org. That way you can let us know that you're coming, and we can expect you and get very excited that we're going to have your help. And here is a reminder of that YouTube channel that we do have. All of our workshops, most of our workshops and our PWG meetings get posted on there, and you can find the access to that on the email that I send out, the newsletter. And we also have a Dress for Success worldwide community. And this community is really starting to take off. There's a lot of people from all over the world that are on there. It's all of our Dress for Success affiliates and our members. You get to know people from all around the world. You get to attend workshops by some very heavy hitter people that our agency in New York is able to set up. So really a great time. There's some special perks that come along the way too. So please join if you haven't already. And if you do have a small business, joining the business network of BNI, that's still an opportunity that exists for you. If you would like to promote your small business, if you have a small business, please contact Amara if you want to attend and pitch your business. It's a great way. Even one meeting can land you with some, a lot of sales. So contact Amara if you would like to attend. The meetings do happen on Tuesday mornings from 7:15 to 9 a.m. in the morning. All right, ladies, any questions that you may have from anything that we just went through?
I have a question. The Business Young Professionals,
yes.
Is it at Zoom or is that in person currently?
Great question. It is on Zoom. Thank goodness.
Thank you.
Because that's early in the morning. Any other questions, ladies?
I do have one for Julia.
Yes.
Julia, what is the language that you use for programming?
Sure. So I teach multiple, HTML, CSS, PHP. Those are the primary ones. And when on September 22nd, I'll be showing you HTML and CSS, and we'll actually do some CSS. And I primarily focus on WordPress. It's a website builder, but like the code the hard stuff, but it's not hard. I can't wait to show y'all.
Yeah. And what do you use for backend?
PHP, if I do any backend coding, it's primarily just PHP.
Okay, good. Good to know. Thank you.
Sure.
Ooh, I hear some interest. Any other questions, ladies, or comments that you have? Going once, going twice. All right.
Sorry, I'm sorry, last minute. I was just thinking, Julia, those courses are so expensive. And I just think it's so amazing that you're doing that you're partnering, because those coding, they're thousands of dollars. I mean, I lived out in DC, and it's just so amazing. I've been part of the conversation about getting women back to work after the recession of COVID. And I don't know, it's just so timely, and it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to get to partner with Dress for Success. So thank you.
All right, ladies. Well, we go forward with confidence, courage, and belief in ourselves. Have a wonderful night, ladies. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.